Hello everyone, I'm back in. I hadn't made a video in a while. We got a little hay down, and I've got a deer horn and a tractor tar, and so we got to get that took care of. And it's sort of been one thing after another. But what I really want to talk about today is the betrayal of this country. You know, it's come out that what Obama just does for this Russiagate stuff, Obama and Biden, FBI, CIA including, Hillary Clinton including, you know, to bring down President Trump. It's amazing that he got elected and not in prison with everything that they've tried to do to him, plus try to kill him. You know, if God wasn't giving America a second chance, President Trump would be in prison right now or dead. You know, it come out Bill Barr. He was President Trump's last Attorney General in the first administration. It's come out that he shut down investigations into the ballots that was filled in trucks going across state lines, coming out of New York, going into Pennsylvania and all these places. He shut down those investigations before he quit, or President Trump got rid of him, one of the two. And then it's come out that he's colluded with Fannie Willis to help put President Trump in prison well, let's call it election interference in the highest level. All these states try and take him off the ballot, plus being almost assassinated. So if you think God ain't in control and ain't giving America another chance, then you've got another thing coming. You know, and you hear people, well, I'm regretting my vote. The grocery prices they're not coming down, or this or that. You know, he's done more in the first 200 days than every president in the United States. He can't fix everything that Obama and Biden has done to this country. He just can't come in and go, phew, fixed. Because everything that's happened, and they've done the policies, the Green New Deals, the EPA regulations, all this stuff has a toll on companies. You know, just like Biden come in and killed the pipeline, stopped drilling, shot oil prices up. Then they had a war on chickens for bird flu, killing millions and millions of chickens, and caused the egg shortage, the chicken shortage. And some of that stuff during that pandemic on the cattle caused a shortage of cattle. You know, there were reports where cattle was laying in piles at these places that they wouldn't process them, and the meat went to waste. So. And, you know, and then RFK comes out, they caught them, you know, on them mandating this jab and giving hospitals and doctors' offices incentives monetarily to push this stuff, you know, experimental drug. You know, mandating that people take it or lose their jobs. Look at then they've caused a shortage of nurses on account of that, because people refuse to do that. And then, you know, they talk about everything going up. Well, when you raise minimum wage in some of these states like California, when you raise minimum wage to work at McDonald's for $20 an hour, you didn't expect that hamburger to be $3, did you, no more? No. Because those companies got to pass it on somewhere, and it's passed on to you and me. Not to mention their taxes, the rise in power that Biden caused, trying to go all green energy, trying to shut down power plants, causing the electric bills to go up. It's all together. And they almost destroyed this country. And if we don't get rid of these people like Jasmine Crockett, Eli Omar, and that one that what was her name, Ramirez or whatever her name was, it went into Mexico, made a speech and said Guatemalan was her country first, America was second, and she's a member of Congress, sitting on some of these Homeland Security seats, committees. First thing Mike Johnson need to do, get off his hind end and expel these people from Congress. They've got no business there. If their loyalties is to another country first, they took an oath to defend this country. You know, these communist Democrats, you know, they've got no allegiance to the Constitution, which means they've got no allegiance to your sons and daughters who are serving in the military. The proof of that is when Joe Biden withdrew from Afghanistan and the 13 soldiers got killed and they didn't care. There was no investigation on why. There's a reason Mark Milley got a pardon. All these actors are coming together. A raid on Mar-a-Lago with orders to shoot, to kill, on the ex-president of the United States. Unprecedented. You know, they tried to go after him every way which it could be. You know, New York even made a law so they could go after him. I mean, ain't it unreal? And the Democrats holler that MAGA people are Hitlers and white supremacists and Christian nationals and we're a threat to democracy. President Trump's Hitler, Satan, and whatever, and a threat to democracy when they're the real threat. They're sheep's and wolf clothing, or wolves and sheep clothing. I put it that way. I got that backwards. But anyway, they're out to change this country, to make it a socialist. You know, the things that they have done, Obama started in that administration, is Soviet tactics. January 6th, things are coming out on that. That they meant to bring President Trump down. So, and you've got judges that's placed in these courts. They're active, and you know, they need to be weeded out. They need to be, Congress needs to strip them of their power and impeach them. You know, they swore oath the Constitution too. And you know, I'm gonna tell you something, people. Well, the way I look at it, my two great uncles that went to World War II, Korea, and a lot of family members in Vietnam and Afghanistan, Desert Storm, Iraq. Those people didn't go over and fight, bleed, and die so that we could sit on our hands and not raise a voice. That's why I believe in getting on here and doing what I'm doing. Not only to have something to show my children and grandchildren that I stood up and give my voice to this country and to do what I could. Not to be afraid of being threatened. And I've got this little channel. I mean, they think they can fear you, threaten you to not speak out. But you know, I'm not going to fear, you know, be thrown off. You know, if YouTube takes me off, that's fine. But I'm not going to be threatened to shut my mouth. I believe that God put President Trump in there. I believe he saved his life. He kept him out of prison to give us another chance in this country. And we need to take that chance, and we need to stand up. We need to get all of these communists and these rhinos out of office and put American first in there. People, we have the power. That's the way the founders of this country set it up. That's why we have the Second Amendment. It ain't for squirrel hunting. We have a right. Our vote, people say, well, your vote don't make no difference. You might as well just quit voting. People are installed. Well, they sort of right when what happened when they installed Kamala Harris. That's what the Democrats become. That's communist. That's communist tactics. And you know, they talk about socialism, communism, and when people like me talk about it, how you're crazy. Well, look what the last administration done. You tell me what Soviet, communist, or Nazi tactics. They had the CIA, FBI going into YouTube, Facebook, Twitter, having people deplatform, disinformation, and with the FBI, the CIA finger on people's monitoring what was said. If you said anything out of line, if you said anything about the jab, you were deplatformed, disinformation. If you had a belief, disinformation, take them off, shut their voice down. If you criticized Joe Biden and their administration, if you criticized, you took off air, you wasn't allowed to speak. They had fact checkers. There wasn't no Republican or conservative fact checker. He's all liberal, one way. If they didn't like you, didn't like what you saying, disinformation, deplatformed. Now, who used Soviet tactics? Raid people's homes if it was up there at the Capitol on January of 2020. If they was standing there, just because they was standing there, didn't even do nothing. Raided their homes, gunpoint, throw them in jail. Throw the Holocaust survivor for praying in front of an abortion clinic. Throw her in jail. Now tell me who used Soviet Nazi tactics. The Communist Democrat Party. So, I mean, and then you've got the news media right in there with them. Right in there with them. They get a talking point, and next thing you know, it comes out of the Democratic Party. It goes into you hear a politician, and all news media across America will have the same opening statement on their nightly news, or whenever they broadcast. The same thing. The exact same thing. You can turn. You know, they done an experiment. They turned everything on at all newscasts across America at one time, and they had the same talking point, the same headline. That's why President Trump named them fake media, because they're fake. They're not gatekeepers of the truth no more. They're an arm of the Communist Democratic Party. Now the only true news you can get, you got to look for it yourself. You got to dig. You get you nine more get the truth out of news across the water that's happening here than you will from American media. That's why it is so important that you stay informed, that you do your own research. You hear these news, this junk that they come out with, you know, do your research. You know, Google yourself, find out the truth, because you have to, or we'll be led astray. Only God can save us. And I do believe that God put President Trump in there. He kept him out of prison. He saved him. He saved him from being killed to give us one more chance to save this country. And it be a godly nation. This country was founded under God. He's given us a second chance, people. Don't blow it. Let's stand up together and vote these people out of office and put American first people in there. I'm going to voice my opinion. I'm not going to be threatened to keep my mouth shut. As the old saying is, bring it on. It's a little different here in the hills of where I'm at it is in these big cities. Your bully tactics won't work. And we support our law enforcement. We support our military. And we believe in God, family, and country. But anyway, I've said enough, rambled enough. People won't watch it no way. But I appreciate the people who do. Well, God bless each and every one of you. And good Lord's will, and I'll see you next time. And thank you for watching. God bless.